Hi guys, Rjpasini from Rjpasini.com. Come to you today to just talk a little about sales, trying to stay positive, and how you could say, um, I don't know, crazy world we're living in with all the things going on. Um, I also want to try, just touch bases on trying to stay focused and stuff. And it's not easy. I listen to other resellers. There's a lot of them out there saying that June and July are very slow months, but when I go to other resellers and I look at what they sell, they always seem to do pretty good. You know, at least they're making sales every day, even if it's one or two sales a day. For me, it hasn't been like that. Maybe on and off. I didn't really check my sold items, but it'd be nice if I could be consistent. At least make a couple sales a day would be nice, but it's not happening right now. Um, as you can see, I had I think at 255 one time. Some did go down. Some I did take off. I don't want to bother relisting the same things over and over again. I had the good two canceled. Just gave eBay the nice big fat bill. For me, it was a nice fat bill. I'm not gonna tell you what it was, but it was, to me, it's a lot. Um, and you know, that's one thing about eBay. They're always guaranteed to get their money. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much you make or how little you make, they're always going to get their money. It's nice when you have more coming in and less going out, but and I'm looking at the business account I have, and I could see, if you have this much, and then after you get done with eBay, paying your fees and whatever, it goes down like this. And then when the end of the month comes in, if there's nothing coming in, you're starting to tap into that business account because you're using that to offset or pay your bills, and that goes down a little. And then you start getting a little nervous because at the end of the month, you start picking. It's like giving a bird a loaf of bread, and he keeps picking at it. He keeps picking at that bread, and eventually the loaf gets smaller and smaller, and that's what's happening with me in some cases. I'm not saying that I sell top-rated stuff. The items I have online, I'm sure there's a million other people that selling the same things. I just did a price reduction on everything. I try to reduce the price on certain things. Um, at one point, I would like to even, to be honest with you, I would like to clear out all this. I think I talked to you guys in the past. I like to clear out all of this stuff and maybe start fresh, maybe get into brand new stuff. I think I talked about this, about maybe branding my own items, whatever. I don't know how that would go. I mean, everybody and their mother's doing this stuff here, and it's a competitive field, and trying to keep a positive frame of mind is it's difficult at times, because when you start to see more money going out than money coming in, you do tend to get a little antsy. And if you're on a strict budget, and if you have money to back you up for time being, but again, it's like anything else. The aftermath is, you keep dwindling away. You're gonna have to take further action. I heard one seller was saying, again, I don't like to bring up sellers who I follow, but I mean, one seller was saying that if they can't make a go out of this year, they may be getting a job somewhere. Have to go back to a 9 to 5 job. Um, we all, everybody that's a seller on eBay or Amazon, whatever, they all want to make money. We all do. I mean, it's our passion. For some people, people love to do this here. They love this business. I love this business too. And if I sound like I come off as a negative person, I'm not. I just come to reality. I don't sit and talk about my sales figures. I don't tell you how much I made, because it's not. Firstly, it's kind of irrelevant. You know, I don't think that's really. Maybe that's like that. I guess the reason why some resellers tell them what they make and stuff like that is to inspire other newbies coming in, and that's good. Listen, I have no problem with people, newbies coming in. Um, Somebody said something like, I don't know, there was 6,000 or 6 million more people coming into reselling, unless I misunderstood the numbers. It's possible, because I'm doing research as I'm listening on my laptop right on the desk next to me, and what I do is I'm working on I don't work on my laptop too much. I work on my desktop because it's got a bigger screen and everything, and the laptop I usually put in the side, and I have that running in the background, and I'm listening and listing and trying to do research. So sometimes you listen to things, you catch tidbits, Or it's like my daughters would say, "Oh, you got selective hearing, Dad. You only hear what you want to hear." Um, that's not really true, but I guess in some cases maybe that's how people may perceive it, and that's how maybe we may perceive it in our own lives. That we, when we're doing something else, we're focused on something else, and we catch little tidbits of things. It's like, well, it's true. I mean, if I'm watching a news broadcast and they're talking about business or eBay, I will, if I'm, because keep the TV in the room, I will stop to pause to watch it or listen at the same time. But because it caught my interest, it's something that catches your interest, you're gonna tune into it. So that's the problem I have as far as that part goes. But a lot of the stuff I have here right now, I haven't going out sourcing. And I know the thrift stores by me, they have 25% off on every Tuesdays. I think Thursdays, which is today. It's Tuesday. Tuesday morning, actually, East Coast. It's going on 9:25 this morning. I don't usually do too many morning videos, but this particular one I am, because I like to do it in the afternoon. Sometimes I feel more refreshed. I didn't have my breakfast yet, so I had my first cup of coffee. But anyway, trying to stay positive with all the world events going on, stuff like that. I think what people should do is, if you want to stay focused in this business, try to, I know it's hard to say, and it may sound kind of relevant. People may say, well, that's kind of crazy, telling people, not to dwell in. Well, it's true. I think what happens is we get so caught up in with all the worldly events that's going on. I turned on the news this morning. I live over here in New York, and all you hear is, I love New York. I was born and raised here. I'm a Manhattanite, but I was a little boy when I was born in Manhattan, and we moved out to the suburbs over here. But it's an interesting place. If you've never been to New York, if you've been to New York, Manhattan, you've checked out the 5 boroughs, whatever. If you check out Manhattan, you go to Broadway, and you got all the get the Broadway shows there. You get the Circle Line tour, and so on and so forth. I'm not doing a segue for New York, but I'm just trying to say there is a lot of action going on out there. There's always something happening. They say it can happen in New York Minute, or they call it the Big Apple, and so on and so forth. But you turn on the news, and all you hear is always bad news. You hear people getting murdered, or like this morning I heard someone was talking about being pushed into in a train, or talking about a thing that happened in the past a while back, and hearing all that stuff the first thing in the morning is the last thing a person wants. At least I don't want to hear it. I tune out a lot of that stuff. And if you got friends or relatives that dwell on certain topics. I know I meant to talk about this a while back. There was a pastor that said, and I didn't say it, the pastor said it. So if there is anybody out there listening out there, this is not made into a derogative statement. I'm not making any derogatives and talking negative or saying anything brash or harsh to anybody. But the person said, love your family from a distance, and I think that would be the same thing with your friends. Love them from a distance. If you got people that are always talking about negative things and not positive, it kind of like brings a bad aura around you. It makes you start thinking. It sways your thinking, your mind. I'm not saying to disown those people, befriend them. I'm just trying to say is that if you hang out with people all the time, or associate with people like that all the time that keep talking about negative things, it's not going to do anything for you. Because when you leave that person's house or dwelling or whatever it may be, you might be in a coffee shop and you're sitting there talking about negative things, or they're talking about, oh, what I'm going through, or this is going through, so-and-so is going through. It kind of leaves a bad aura. It's like it's going to a fancy restaurant, you had a food, you ate something there and it left a bad taste in your mouth. You say, I'm not going back there again. And I'm not saying to disown family or friends. I love and respect my family, and I love my friends too, the people I associate with. But the thing is, sometimes, if a person is going to come off, always talking about negative or talking down about certain things, those might not be the right people for you to integrate with your business ideas. If you watch shows like Pirates of Silicon Valley, which talks about, I recommend you watch it too. It's a good movie. Or the Henry Ford, The Man and the Machine. If you looked at these entrepreneurs, even the entrepreneurs on Shark Tank, but I'm talking about back then, the people that started the business back in the days, they always stood focused. If you watched Henry Ford, all right, they're not going to show you from a time lapse from every minute the guy woke up, he went to sleep, but they always showed you, like with Henry Ford in The Man and the Machine, He was driven by his business. Okay, he was driven by his business. He lived and breathed the automotive industry. Okay, he lived and breathed it. That's his life. Okay, yes, he had a family, he had a son. He had a wife and a son, and but that was his life. When you start a business, it's a new entity. It's like giving birth to a newborn. And the same thing with the Pirates of Silicon Valley. If you watched Steve Jobs when he was with Steve Wozniak starting the business, Apple, it showed you that they were focused. Now, yeah, in the movie, it shows you they had their fun and games and stuff like that. They talked about how they started and the jobs they took and stuff like that, and they talked about other things. You had to watch the movie. But if you really looked at the movie and digressed it in its whole entirety, sometimes you have to watch a movie twice because you might miss the first time. You might get distracted or something. But it showed you that they were driven to their business. There was no other thing but their business. Like, Steve Jobs, that was his business. Him and Steve Wozniak. They started Apple, they breathed Apple, and that was it. Same thing with Bill Gates. If you watch the movie when it was showing you when they're in Harvard. Now, this is supposed to be a documentary, folks. So it's supposed to be the story about how they started out. And if you watch about, how Bill Gates started, Apple, him, Paul Allen, and Steve Ballmer, there was three of them, how they started when they went to Harvard. They were always into electronics, but they had that stick to it, nivis, whatever they call it there, stick to it type of thing. And that was it, in the movie, it showed you when the three of them went up to IBM in Florida. I think it was I'm not sure if it was Boca Raton. I forget the part of Florida it was. They went there and it showed you they had a business meeting with the IBM execs, and they were talking about, introducing them to DOS, the disk operating system that would help their business. And in the movie, it shows you at one point they didn't really have the software, but they told them they did. And later on, they had bought the software from a company called Seattle Computer Works, I think it was. And in the movie, I think it said 50,000, but if you read the story or the book, I think it said 100,000. But needless to say, that guy's probably giving himself a kick in the butt, for what he did. Let's see what happened, because it was from that point on, it took off. Just like with Apple, what really got Apple, if you watch the movie again, with Steve Jobs creating, how they founded it, what really got them kicking off is the GUI system, which is the graphic user interface with the mouse. When they got that mouse there, that's what really launched that out. They were the first ones basically to come out with the Windows in a sense. But again, you'd have to watch the movie. I recommend it. Check it out. If you like about entrepreneurs and you like learning about stuff like that, like I do, I have an interest in that there. I'm a very curious person by nature, and I like to know the mechanics of how things work, the ins and outs of things. What works, how does it start, who created it. I like to know those things like that. I watch a lot of documentary films, but that's what I like. And the reason why I watch it, I said, well, what is it? It inspires me. It gives me an idea that there is still hope out there. People are starting businesses every day. There is a number of failures that go out every day. But the thing is, again, if you're going to stay in this type of business, you don't want to have that negative aura around you. Try to stay positive, be a positive thinker. If you're a person that doesn't know anything about business, maybe pick up a book, go to the library, read about how to start a business, or you could do research online, the things you need to do with how to get it going, the documentation, whatever, the tax implications with it and everything and so forth. But the thing is staying positive in a diversified world with going on right now, with all the worldly things going on. I'm not saying not to care about it, but don't dwell on it. We're all going to turn the news on, people at one point or another, but I try to listen to very minimal of that stuff in the news. And if sometimes I don't even turn the radio on at all, because I want to start a positive day off. I want the day to be positive. I don't want to have any negativity around me. I don't want a negative aura around me. It's just like being around naysayers. Like if you tell your family or friends what you want to do, you're going to get all the opposition. Well, if you start a business, it's going to cost X amount of money. You might not make it. You might be just making, you might be wasting your time doing this. Just go get a 9-to-5 job, or go back to school, get your master's degree or bachelor's degree or whatever, in business or finance or whatever, and take it from there. Listen, I'm all for education. I'm all for school. Okay, I encourage my daughters to go to college, and they are, and I'm very proud of them. And I would never tell them not to go to school. Okay, now there are, if you type on, if you do a Google search, with on about Bill Gates, about the billionaires, how many billionaires that started a business with only a high school diploma? I don't know many of. I don't know if there's 16 or 18. Don't quote me on the number, but I know there's quite a few, and they're famous people. And the two I could talk about right now is Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg. As a matter of fact, they even did a video. It's like a comment, like a commercial type of thing, and it shows you Bill Gates saying, "Did they know that we didn't graduate college?" Even Bill Gates was joking around. But here's a man. Supposedly, this is what I didn't write the stories up, folks. This is what I heard. When I signed to my computer, my homepage is MSN, and it came up. I think it was that, I don't know if it said 16 billionaires who only have a high school diploma. It was either 16 or 18, whatever. And when I clicked it on, and I was surprised to see the people, I said, "Oh my gosh, this person is." I could click and said, "This person's got only a high school diploma." So anyway, long story short, with Bill Gates, with a high school diploma, here's a man that became the richest man in the world as of now. Okay, I don't know about Jeff Bezos. I don't know if he has it. I didn't really do follow. I don't remember all of them, but I know Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg stuck out like a sore thumb to me. And here these guys are, with high school diplomas that have that became billionaires. My father used to say business is based on common sense, which it is. I mean, it is just like carpentry's based on common sense too. But business is, I mean, if you go learn the basics, to where you get to a stage where you're going to build a business up. It'll take that. Hopefully it'll take off. But the thing is, with trying to stay negative. I mean, I'm not saying trying to stay negative, but staying away from negativity is a very key essential thing. If you could stay away from that, you're best off. Being away from, like I said, the naysayers, the people that are going to tell you can't do it, you can do it. You want to, get to that stage where, you got your own frame of mind. You could think for yourself. The only thing I would say is to analyze everything. Try to do the right thing. Make sure that when you do go into a business, you go into it with, how could I say it? With the clear head. Try to do it with a clear head. You don't want to go into a business blindfolded and start thinking, oh well, already you got the negativity coming into your own mind. Just try to be focused on what you want to do. They say do what you love to do and the money will follow. Live your passion, follow your passion out. Do what you want. You live once, and don't be one of those people to say I should have, could have, or would have. But anyway, I don't want to dwell too much on that. I'm just trying to tell you, if you could, stay positive. In a world like this right now, like I said, we're in a world of, there's a lot of things going on, and, it's okay to be, how can you say it, informed, but you don't want to be so informed where it overtakes you, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, looking at my sales here, like I said, I didn't really do too much, folks. Getting back to this, I know I'm kind of skirting around the issue here. I did drop some of the prices on this here, and you could see I got watches on a lot of my stuff. Well, basically everything here, but they drop off. Some have 2, some they drop off to 1, then they go to 3, and they drop off. And so on and so forth. You could see that, but you can see what's going on here with my stuff. I did price, like I said, I did price reductions. Did it help? It may have. Like I said, I got a few sales here and there, but nothing really to talk about. I don't have the. I can't do like a weekly sales. I can, but it wouldn't be nothing to show you. It wouldn't be nothing much to show you. So I can't really get into that part and say, well, I did one sale today, or I did one sale 2 weeks ago. I can't really get into it because I don't really have the sales coming in. So you might want to look into that there. But you could see I did a price reductions on some of these things here. Some stuff's been sitting for a while. Let's see here. It's funny. I have people looking at these things, and they've been looking at them for God knows how long. And you wonder, do you really want this thing, or are you just putting it on there? I don't know. I mean, these been around for God knows how long. These shoes. I had an offer on them, and the offer was so lowball, I just declined it. It's practically giving them away. I mean, I don't remember buying these on half off days. So for me, I can't go that low on the pricing, because if I do, I'll really go to the toilet on this one here. You'll take a real beating. But yeah, the person did make an offer a while back, weeks ago, and I turned it down. I declined it. It was way, way, way too low. I mean, I might as well just give it to the person. Just you tell them person, you pay for the shipping and they're yours. I can't go that low. But we talked about this once before. I'm like I said, I did drop prices on a lot of the things. I know there's a lot of competition out there. We know that. You know that, and I know that. Anybody in this line of work will know that. But yeah, it just seems like, I don't know if the big ticket, I don't like on big ticket items. Anything like over $10 is doesn't seem to be going much. Like here, like this is for $99. I'll probably have to drop this one down. I keep adding to it. This one here, I have to keep adding to it. Like if I come across things, I go to a thrift store, I say, oh, I got another one of these controls, I'll add a controller. That's what happened with this one. When I originally got this here, when I originally got this, it only had the one controller. And then I came across another one, I picked up, I said, oh, I'll sell two of them now. And the same thing with these. Matter of fact, I think what happened was I was originally selling this, and this, these three things right here. And then I came across these. So I added this to the this is, I know it's ripped, but it still fits around here. It can still protect the controller. So I added, originally it was this, the one controller, remote, wireless controller, whatever, and the power pack. And then I came across this in the thrift store, and I added this, two, I think they call them nunchucks, and this. So I added these three. Well, three. I added this. I include this is going with it, of course. So I added these three things to it, and nothing. And now I also have a Nintendo bar. Those bars there. I guess the wireless bar. I think it's for this system here. I don't know if I should add to it. But if I keep adding to it, I'm going to have to keep cutting back on the pricing on it. I'm going to take a loss on it. So that's the effect for that there. If I can get back here. My assistant's real, so you can see I got a lot of windows opened up here. So yeah, that was the deal with that. This doll here had six watches. There's Jackie Onassis doll. Had 6, now it's down to 5. Don't mind me how to put this stuff around the lady. I don't want to take a picture of the doll top. I know it sounds stupid, right? That's just the way my morals are. I don't want to see that. But anyway, the doll's in great condition. I mean, pretty good. So I don't know why they had it like that. Why they took the clothes off it. I don't know. The doll is really nice. It's it's not flawed or anything. There's no messes on the face. The face ain't missing. There's no paint here. It's really a nice doll. It really is. It's it's still in its original box. You can see it's a nice doll. It almost looks so lifelike. I mean, when they made this doll, they created this. I think Franklin Mint did this. I think. I'm not talking the part, but the face, the way they did the facial feature. It's really nice way they did it. The Jackie doll, the box. Still, I got the box, by the way. I didn't break the box, but it came with the box like that there. Why they took the clothes off it, I don't know, folks. I couldn't tell you why. But that's what I got it for. I got 5 watching it, and no takers. A lot of lookers, but no takers. I know people are searching out there. I know people are searching. They're doing the due diligence, and that's the right thing to do. But yeah, I really wish I could tell you guys, that what my sales were, but I really don't. I haven't been making that much sales. I mean, I didn't check my sold. Like, maybe you might see, if you do check my sold, you might say, well, what does he talk about? He's got one for this day, that day, this day. But there's days I don't get them. And I think I said this once before, folks, that if you're, in this business, my personal thing, it's a small number I'm throwing out there. If you can't at least make $100 a day, and that's on the low end, at least $100 a day, to where you could bring in $500 a week, which is not a lot of money in today's day and age. I mean, back in the 30s, it was great. The 20s, the 30s, whatever, 40s. But if you're not making at least $100 a day in, you're not really doing yourself any just. That's when you start getting a little nervous and you say, hey, I'm starting to tap into my resources. And that's when you start picking away at it. You start picking at, like I said again, it's like the bird with the loaf of bread. You keep giving that bird keeps picking on it, that loaf of bread's going to shrink. It's the same thing with your money. So it does get a little frustrating. Look, and I said this once before, and I'll say it again. I will do this forever. I mean, until I can't type anymore. If it gets to a point where I can't make a sustainable income to support my wants and needs, to put food on the table, pay for the roof and shelter and stuff like that, then it's time to think about, reevaluate the situation. And and I'm not saying this in a negative way. I'm not trying to come off negative. If it does, it's going to sound that way. But you got to do what you got to do to provide for your family. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, it's just not there. Like, it's just like, sometimes you could start the same business as a successful person has, and for some reason that person will thrive and strive, and you will strive and die. You know what I'm saying? You'll dive. You know what I'm saying? It sometimes it doesn't always work. For example, let's say I'm selling this Walt Disney plate. I have this for $29.99. Now you look at somebody else. Some have the same exact plate for $39.99. And they get the sale, and you're sitting there scratching and say, wait a minute, he's selling his for $39. That person's selling his for $39.99. They got a sale. I'm selling mine for $29.99. I didn't get a sale. Why is that? I don't know. I had this discussion with family members and friends. We talked about this in regards to stuff like that. I don't know. I really couldn't tell. I don't know what factors played into that there. Maybe the person, well, all right. Maybe the person that was selling it. Well, like let's say for me, for example, and let's say I had a low, bold feedback rating. Let's say I had 20 negatives, whatever. I'm just saying 10 negatives. That could have been a factor too. I always say when I buy from somebody, I always like to look and see if they're top rated. But it doesn't always matter. I don't want to throw that out there because I'm top rated. But I always look at to see if they're top rated and what their feedback score for 100%. I did have 100%. I'm trying to work something out with the buyer to see if they'll remove it. I doubt it's going to happen. So, like I said again, it's not the worst thing in the world. It'll stay on my account, on my feedback score there for a whole year until next year if it doesn't come off. Which most likely, I don't think this buyer is going to work with me, and that's okay. It's understandable. Okay. But the thing I'm trying to say is, maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what played a part in it. Maybe it's a repeat buyer. Maybe I just happened to come along, and maybe this person bought from that seller once before, and they said, "Oh, I like this plate. Maybe I'll buy it." And they'd rather give the person. It's like somebody. If you know somebody that's doing the same business, and you say, "Well, I got a relative the same thing. Rather than give it to a stranger, I'm going to give it to my friend." You know what I'm saying? It's the type of thing like that too. So we can't always get caught up in that and say, well, maybe the person's doing this, he's better selling. No, I don't know. I'm just saying, but that's the way I would look at it. Like if I'm going to buy something, if I have a friend that does carpentry, and I need something done around the house, I'm not going to go to a stranger. I'll go to my friend. I'm going to give my friend preference over the stranger. So that's the same thing. That's what could happen. That's why when we see these things and we sit there scratching, why is this guy selling it and I can't? I'm cheaper than him. I'm $5 or $10 cheaper, and this guy is selling it and I can't get rid of mine. It could be, like I said, maybe the guy's a great top rate seller. Maybe he's got better services. I don't know. I don't know how much more better service you could offer, a 30-day money-back guarantee. And like I said once before, with eBay, you have no choice when it comes to refund because they got their money. They have control of your account. Okay, you can't block eBay. They're going to take that money, and it's going to. If they can't get anywhere with eBay, they're going to go through PayPal. I already mentioned that once before. So why that happens, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't honestly give you a straight up front answer. I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of. If you, like I said, if I was a person that had 10 or 20 negatives, I would think I would think people were going to shy away from me because I'm not going for that guy. He's still negative. He's got a little feedback. He's got a little negative feedback. Poor shipping, doesn't delay. Doesn't ship on time. Item right broken. Doesn't want to issue a refund, which it doesn't matter because, like I said again, eBay is going to issue a refund anyway. They always work in a buyer's favor. We know that, but that's the way it works. That's the way this business works. Reselling is not the easiest business. A lot of the sellers I watch on YouTube will tell you the same thing. You got to go out there, you got to hustle. I can't source every day, and I can't afford to source every day. So when I do go, I go once in a while. If I do go to a thrift store, like today's Tuesday, today they have 25% off in the stores, both stores. The thrift stores are local. They're like maybe 5-10 minutes away from me. I mean, I could ride a bicycle there, to be honest with you, right? That's how close they are. But anyway, if I do go, I might pick up one item. I might pick up two. I'm not going to buy like I would do like this. Sometimes I go into a thrift store and spend over $100 buying merchandise. But the thing is, if it sits, and let's say you buy $100 worth of merchandise, and you say, well, after I tag on my profit, you up it up, what I'm saying, you up the price, and you say, well, I'm going to turn that $100 into $500 or whatever, or $1,000. Until that transpires, you ain't got no $500 and you ain't got no $1,000. You ain't making no money unless the item sells. So that's one of my rules of thumb. That's why I don't tie up a lot of money in sourcing, because you could be sitting. And I had the proof for myself. Okay, I have a lot of these items that were sitting here for months. I mean months. I think my let's see, if I scroll down here, let's see here. This thing here I bought near Christmas time of last year. There you go, right here. Look, I had it $19.99, dropped to $9.99. No buyers, no takers. Had one, I had two lookers. Oh yeah, I have a watcher, but I have over here. I had two watchers. One dropped off. Okay, that was from last year. Okay, let's see. We scroll down a little more. Now I should have another one, Christmas related, if I can find it here. I just feel like, sometimes, folks, I just feel like just donating to my church and starting fresh. But you know what? You just burnt money. That's what you did. You bought these items here, right here. This one here. The bear, the radio flyer, and the one with the Santa Claus one, $9.99. They were bought at Christmas time, and I bought them right before Christmas. I bought them probably in December 1st, whatever, or after November. I figured, people won't buy them. I even put in the ads, buy before the Christmas holidays so we could have it. Been sitting there, had it $19.99, again, dropped it down to $9.99. There are certain things on here. I'm not going to get into a whole listing with you. It's not because I don't want to share it with you, but there are certain things over here I will not buy again. From prior experience, I will not buy these things again. I won't buy. I'm not going to buy all this stuff. It's not going to happen. Because half of the stuff doesn't sell. Like I said, this one here, I picked this Mickey Minnie marriage picture photo frame. Nice condition, ceramic. Had $19.99. All my offers, if you look, they all have best offer on it. Okay? Matter of fact, I had to go into each and every one of these here. I was watching a reseller yesterday. We were talking about that, about how eBay, with their changes and stuff like that, with the active content, they're removing it, how the person says you have got to go into change each and every one. Thank God I don't have 8,000 or 10,000 or 5,000 or even 1,000 items, because I went in there, I think I did a video on it, updating my listings, and I had to change it around. And what I simply did is, when you looked at the listings before I changed it, which is no big change, I just edited. My picture used to be here, and this used to have a nicer logo. It says "Best Offers Welcome," but it was more like it had like graphics around it. I don't know if people remember it. That came off. It was just like it had the third party. It had some kind of message up here and right along here in the title line. Third party something you have to register, whatever, or something with the third party. And over here too, where my picture was, they had the same thing. So they commented. I was Photo Bucket. They commented this out. They commented my picture out, and they put that little information there. And what I'm doing here, I had to go into each and every one to correct it. And I couldn't even put the graphics in here the way I wanted, so I just had to come up with this here and just say, best offers welcome. The square box that had that stupid saying in there, I had to just delete that and just move this up. I'm trying to look for better templates. They have free templates. This was made, again, I think I mentioned to you guys, this was made with the front page 2002, but I had to go into each and every listing to correct and modify that. And boy, oh boy, that took me a couple days, because even though you say, well, wait a minute, you only had 260 items or 258 items, it took you, because you got to go back and forth. And then the ones with the videos, they weren't even showing up. The videos were like, you would click it on. You say, when you revise the item, you'll look and you'll see that it'll say, it looks like it shows you the picture, but when you actually upload it, you correct it, whatever, you revamp your description, the video disappears. So I had to go back, needless to say, I had to go back on all the ones that had videos, like this one here, I think might have a video. Let's see, the Sony PlayStation. And I'm not doing this video, folks, to promoting. I'm just trying to give you a little insight, okay? So you see the pictures came out good, okay? Sometimes sometimes you have to even go in there and try to correct it. I think I mentioned to you guys, if you ever need to try to correct the picture, I'll show you in a second. But this one here, again, had to change this around. And I had to put, I used to have the video right underneath. Then I had to write all the rewording in here, see the item below description, because the way I do it, I used to be able to copy and paste it, and I tried that there. I tried taking the picture and embed it in the middle over here. There's a way to do it. I don't know. I'm not an HTML junkie. I don't know how to do that stuff. I'm not too familiar. I know of HTML, but I'm not too familiar. So I had to put it over here at the bottom and make sure it worked. Okay. Then it says video will open up in the window. So when you click this on here, of course, it's going to open up into another window again, and then you would click it on, and then you'll get the same thing. Talks about it. I thought what I liked about it was it brought you right there. You know what I'm saying? It brought you right there. In other words, I could watch this video. I didn't have to click it on. It'd be right under here. It'd say below the script, well, below here, whatever, say please see video, and it was right here, right? So you don't have to go click it on and go to another window. The way eBay did it now, at least in my case, at least with this, when you click on the video, it bumps you to another site. Okay, it's supposed to be for mobile usage, whatever. It is what it is. But picture going into it, then I had to go back to the YouTube channel, pull that video out, go through 345 or whatever, because I didn't know where it was. It could have been in the middle, the top, the bottom, whatever. Take that picture, go to the YouTube and get the embedded code. Go to YouTube Converter, right? Make the code where it's eBay friendly there, that's compliant, and then go in there and do it all over again. And I had to do that all for all those. That's why I said it took hours. It took hours to do this, folks. And that's why I said anybody who thinks it's gonna, you're gonna create. If you have 1,000 listings, if you have people helping you out, that's great. But me, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I would be able to do it. I would have probably got so fed and just say, leave it the way it is. I don't care how it looks. But I mean, you got to look at how the buyer's looking at it. Like, what is this here? Thank God it worked out. I only had that many listings to do. It took me a couple days to do it, to be honest with you, because it was an all-day project. It was an all-day project. And I had to do it. It took a long time, but it is what it is. Now, hopefully, I don't know if there's anything else that I need to be doing. As far as I'm concerned, I'm compliant. But again, folks, I wish I can go over and give you a sales update. I really can. I mean, I kind of embarrassing to just say, oh, I only sold 2 items or 1 item this week, 3 items. It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest with you. I know people probably say, well, you shouldn't feel that way, but I do. It is. It's kind of embarrassing. I will say this though. I do have this on another platform, which is Bonanza. I think I mentioned this once before. Bonanza's not bad. So far, I made 10 sales through the course of having them, since I signed up with them. Sometimes Bonanza could come to your aid there, could create a sale, which it did. I think I sold one of the Rock Band guitars there, harmonics guitar. Yeah, it was through Bonanza. And it's nice, it was nice to see. I said, well, I didn't make a sale with eBay, but at least I made a sale with Bonanza, there was in the past, I said, well, I felt it was so stagnant and dormant. I said to myself, maybe I'll just give up on Bonanza and not even bother with it. Altogether, just close the account. But I said, you know what? If it's not costing me anything to keep it there, which it ain't, the only time they take their fee out is when the item sells, and it's a minimal fee. I said, you know what? Leave it, because people do view it. There are people that do view, go on Bonanza, and they do check, they do search there. I do see, because I'll see how many visitors. They show you to watch. How many people watched it? Not watched it, but viewed it. And they do get traffic. They do. There are people out there that are probably strictly Bonanza sellers. They rather deal with Bonanza and get off of eBay altogether. I think I talked about this once before in a video, where there have been people where eBay did have people dropping off. You could do a Google search on it, But you know what? For the people that drop off, how many people are going to come on? How many newcomers are coming on? So it doesn't make a difference. It's not going to really bother eBay that much. It might make the executives think about it and say, well, geez, why are we losing revenue? Or why we're losing these? How come we're losing sellers and buyers, whatever? How come they jumping off the platform, the selling platform? they may be concerned. Then again, they may say, well, for every one that we lose, we'll gain 5, we'll gain 10. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I'm here. I'm still here on eBay. And like I said, I did get a sale that time from Amazon. I think it was a video I sold. And to be honest with you, I told the rep, because I had to ask the rep something at Amazon, and they were very apologetic. They were saying, like, I told them I wasn't really happy with the service and their fees. And he was telling me that, in closing, just to get this off here, just to let you know, that when you do business with Amazon, they charge you pretty much for everything. At least for my case, they wanted to charge me for the tracking. And when the guy told me how much it was, I figured offhand. I said, you know what? I'm not going to print the label, because the only thing that's good about Amazon, doing with Amazon, if you do business with them and they print the label, it'll help protect you in case the package gets lost. But here's what I look at it, folks. I didn't want to pay. It's bad enough I paid a high fee on it. I didn't make anything on it, to be honest with you. That I don't know what it was, a VHS. I forget which one it was. I didn't make anything on it. I'm going to be upfront and honest with you. I didn't, and I'll tell you why I didn't make any money. Because first of all, for what I sold it for and what they took out their fees, I didn't come out with anything. The only thing, when I got that PayPal, that email, that Amazon payment, it basically covered the postage. I didn't make anything on it. But the guy was telling me that, he goes, oh, I forgot, I was on the phone with him. He goes, I forgot to tell you that, yes, PayPal does, I keep saying PayPal, Amazon does charge for the tracking. So keep that in mind, folks. They track. And I told him, I said, I wasn't happy with their fees, how they charge. He goes, well, we want to still keep you as a customer and stuff, as a seller. We'd like to, because there are people on Amazon making a lot of money. They become very wealthy. I'm sure they have. I'm not saying there isn't. But for me right now, I'll stick with eBay. I just give you this little tidbit of information. I got accepted. I got an invitation to Merch by Amazon. I don't know if you guys are aware that they were merches. It's a thing about creating T-shirts and selling it on there on Amazon platform. And supposedly it's like an autopilot thing. You come up with designs, you send it to Merch. You send it to Amazon. Oh well, not even to say anything. You send your design to Amazon. It's all done through the computer. I think they recommend for creating your designs Photoshop CC. That's the one I think they recommend to use, Amazon. And the thing is, when you, from what I understand, going to the website webinars, that when you create a T-shirt, be careful for copyright infringements, trade markings, keyword markings. They tell you to go to the U.S. U.S. Patent Office.gov website and check it out, because you can infringe on somebody else's patent or design, whatever, and I think you can get a cease and desist. This one person that was talking about it did get a notification from the attorney stating that you're using our name. No, the logo is infringing on it there, and I don't know whatever happened. The person said they weren't sued or anything, but they did contact the person. Now, whether that person did get sued or whatever, didn't say anything. I don't know if there was any legal action, but they didn't really say. They just said that the attorney contacted the person, and it went that far. I don't know if the person's upfront and honest and say, well, yeah, I'm being sued or whatever. So you got to be careful with that part. But it's pretty interesting. A lot of people want to jump in that merch thing, but it's only by invitation only. And I'll be honest with you, when I did sign up for it, it was months ago. Okay, it had to be at least 4 or 5 months ago that I finally got the invitation. Said, oh, you've been invited. Your invitation to merch has been accepted. Blah blah blah, and to you can start creating the shirts and stuff like that. Your designs. And the way I understand it, you send it to them. You look at the royalty. They get a little process of how it's done. You could watch the webinars on there too, and they'll tell you how they go about it, and how many things you sell, how many T-shirts you sell, the type of fabric you use, whatever cloth, if it's American Standard shirt, whatever, American company, or the Anvil. They got two types they deal with Amazon, and one's cheaper than the other. You go with the cheapest shirt, quality shirt, whatever. You get a little more on your profits, whatever, But it's all done based on royalties and stuff. But anyway, so I got that. Did I start anything with it? No, I didn't do anything with that yet. I'm trying to work with this stuff here. I'm trying to research again, trying to see which is the best way to go. Like I say, how much more cheaper can I go? Do I give it away? Do I just, take all this stuff and put it in one big bundle, say buy all 255 items, give me $500? I don't know. All I know is I really wish, folks, and I'm not saying this to be funny or mean, I really wish I could give you a sales update like some people do. Oh, I sold this today, I sold that, yes, that. I can't. I really can't. That's how it is. That's how the sales have been right now for me. I can't really come out and say what I sold. As a rule, as you know, folks, that the ones who do follow me, I don't get into the part there talking about what I paid for it. I think I told you guys once before. What plant the bug in my head is that I remember hearing one of the resellers were talking about they get on there and they say, oh, I bought this for such and such a price. I paid this. I sold it for this much. And I guess one of the buyers that watch these reseller things, which I'm sure they do, because they want to see just how these sellers are doing it, making the money and stuff. And the person replied to the reseller, how dare you? You buy something for so cheap and you sell it for so much money. And this seller replied, well, this is what we do. We're resellers. We buy things cheap and we sell them high. And it's like buying stocks. It's like you buy stocks low and you sell high. It's the same thing. But I think it kind of initiates a little anger in the potential buyers out there, or the people. Let's say people are just strictly buyers and they're not sellers, and they probably feel like, my God, hey, I can just see them sitting around at the family table. I bought this thing, or I seen this guy was selling this thing here, and he's saying, I went to this guy's YouTube channel, and he was a reseller, and he's saying he picked this little widget up for $1 or 50 cents or a quarter, whatever, and he sold on eBay for $29.99. He sold for $30 and stuff like that. And it kind of, I guess it kind of like sparked a little anger in that particular person. I don't know if many other sellers get that same reply from people, but that's another reason why I don't always tell people, I picked this up for this, I'm selling for that. First of all, I don't think it's really necessary for a seller to always tell you what they paid for it. That's like, again, I think I mentioned this once before. You're not going to get Walmart. You're not going to get the Walmart executives to sit there and say, well, yes, at Walmart, we buy these big Sony flat screen TVs. We get them for $100, and we sell them for $500, $600. No one's they're not going to disclose that stuff. I think it's kind of, to me, I'm not saying a bad thing, but I don't really like to get into that part because of those reasons. And I always feel that if those people that are watching this YouTube channel are potential buyers, and I make these videos for the eBay potential buyers, for me to come out and openly say what I pay for an item and what I sell it for, it kind of like, it's not a slap in the face to the buyer, but it's like, hey, business is business. This is, I got the item, you don't. You know what I'm saying? And you want it from me, you're going to buy this. And I don't think it's bad. I'm not faulting the other sellers, so please don't take it the wrong way, guys. I don't want you guys the people that do that there, please don't take it the wrong way. Really, it's just a matter of where we conduct our business. You guys feel comfortable telling people what you pay for your items or what you sell for, and that's good. That's good for you. That works for you, and maybe that's probably why you get better sales. Maybe because you're rough, front, and honest. I've nothing to hide, but I just don't want to get into that mode where I got to tell a person everything I buy, what I paid for it. I do tell you where I get it from, where I source it from. I'll tell you I got this at a thrift store, or if a family member gave me something for free, they didn't want it to give it, or I picked this up, maybe I was, walking down a block and my neighbor was getting rid of something. I don't know. I would tell you stuff like that. But as far as sourcing wise, I tell you, I got it at a thrift store. That's what I tell you. Or I got it if I went to Goodwill, I'll tell you I got it at a Goodwill store. I only deal with thrift stores. Okay, I don't go to yard sales too often. I don't go to yard sales, garage sales, whatever. I don't deal with those too often. Maybe once in a blue moon. And I'll tell you, I went to a yard sale, I picked this up, but very rarely. Most of my sourcing, 99%, the stuff that you see here, some things were given, a couple things were given me from relatives that were cleaning house, said you want this stuff, and you could have it if you want it, or else I'm going to donate it. So I'll take a chance at it. So sometimes I get stuff from relatives for free. They give it to me. They don't want any kickbacks. Okay, but as far as that part goes, but I'll share things like that. But as far as telling you what I got, if I pay for it, I don't think that's really necessary in regards to getting involved with the selling platform. What I have here, again, a lot of this stuff is from thrift stores. 99.9% of it is. So, it's not like I'm hiding. It's like, oh, wait, he doesn't want to tell you what we're sourcing. I mean, first off, it's used stuff. If it was from a manufacturer, you would know about it because, first off, even if I didn't mention the manufacturer, if you see me selling a whole bunch of designer pants, you can say, oh, he must be dealing with a manufacturer in overseas. So, I mean, that's obvious to see, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, all this stuff comes from thrift stores. I'll give you this. I could share this here right now, just looking at it now while I'm talking to you guys. This here, the NK Helping Hands thing here, this, chisels, and the pots. This was given to my relative. They didn't want it, so I put these up. These Elvis records here, all the records you see, the LPs, they are not store-bought. These are mine. Why am I getting rid of them? I don't listen to them anymore. I had these back in the 70s and the 80s. I don't listen to them anymore. I have a record player. I don't bother listening to them. So I said, you know what? Let me get rid of them. I mean, I like the 50s rock and roll, the oldie music. But as time goes on, as you get older, you move on and you want to get rid of stuff. But everything else here that you see is from Twister. Now, let me correct myself with this part here. I'm being upfront and honest with you guys again, because as I'm looking at it now, I'm thinking, oh, here's I could share this with you. These three things actually might be another pair of shoes on the other side. I think there's a total of 4 pairs of shoes and this. And I think my daughters have blouses. One of my daughters, my younger daughter, gave me some blouses to sell. And this is for my older daughter. And there's, I think, a total of pair of 4 shoes. And there's another pair probably on the next page. And these are for my daughter. But here's the thing. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, I didn't pay anything for these here. But here's the deal. These items I'm selling are for my daughter who's going to college. She's not working right now. And she said, Dad, she didn't say I can keep the money, but she didn't say at the same time I don't want it. So whatever I sell here, whatever money I get here on these items that they sell, they will, I think there's, again, 4 pairs of shoes. If they sell and they're all $10 each, and I get these here, that comes, let's say it's $50, I'm going to give it to my daughter. Now you might say, oh, $50, what's the big deal? But to her, it's pocket money, it's gas money, whatever. While she's going to college, like I said, she's not working right now, she's going full-time school. So she said, Dad, because she was just going to get rid of them. I said, well, wait a minute. The shoes look very good condition. I said, let me try selling them for you. If you can get some money for them, get some money for them. Why not, right? So these here are for my daughter that you see here, okay, the shoes. And there's another pair, like floral. Those are for my daughter. And these pants are my older daughter. My other daughter, my youngest one, she gave me some blouses. They were all new. I think there's a total of 3. I got it for $4.99 each. I think small, medium, large, I believe. Again, I'm selling those for her. So, yeah. But then again, like I said again, everything else outside of this stuff, and I haven't been getting anything else from relatives, just to share that with you. Once these are gone, my relatives have no more stuff because I think their house is about clean out, as far as they got rid of the stuff they don't want. So, again, it sounds like I contradict myself, but 99.9% of this stuff, once, like I said, once my family stuff is gone, is all from thrift stores. Everything you see here is all from thrift stores outside of my records, okay? But I'm just trying to say everything I purchase is from a thrift store, just to share it with you. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to talk to you guys about that here really briefly. Well, it's not really brief. It's probably God knows how long it is. Let's see if I can get the little timer up here. We'll see how long. Oh, it doesn't say it over here. Okay. I'm sure it's up there. I'm sure the time is up there. It's this is probably a good half hour or so, maybe even longer. I do these videos, folks. If this is the first time coming to my YouTube channel, I do these videos for potential buyers, eBay buyers out there, to share my thoughts, with you guys. I don't make videos too often. I do sometimes. I try to keep up with stuff. I like to have a weekly thing, to do a weekly segment on what I sell and stuff. Well, or just talk about eBay, not sell, because I have a lot of sales and I'll share with you. But I like to, just share these things with you guys. If you like what I do with these videos and you think you get anything out of them, please subscribe. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. If you think if anything helped you with this video, you want to give it a thumbs up, that's great. If not, that's fine. I'd love to have you, give me a thumbs up. I'd love to also have you a subscriber. I can't seem to get past, I can't get to that 100 point yet. I can't get to 100 subscribers. It was up, I think, at 69 or close to 70, and then it dropped down to 68, then it was 67. I just want to say this in closing, folks. if there's anything, any particular topics you want me to talk about that may be of interest to you, maybe what I'm talking about is not too interesting to you, but if you want to hear me talk about different topics or there's different things you want me to cover, you know, put in a comment. Say, hey, Rich, instead of talking about, eBay or sales or certain things, why don't you do more videos on X, Y, and Z, whatever. Tell me what you want. This way I can share it with you guys and make better videos. Like I said again, I try to share this information with you guys because, like I said, I think it's something that it's important to me. And basically, the topic of this video is to stay positive in a world, like I said, with so much diversity going on. There's a lot of, like I said, that's basically what this video is about, is staying positive in this business. Because again, if you have that negativity all around you and you have a lot of naysayers and people saying the same things, coming out with things that that are going to pollute your mind and you can't stay focused, it's too much. It's bad enough there's enough confusion on here anyway with the internet. Every time you turn the internet on, if you go on YouTube, they have other interesting things, and you might, after you watch that person's YouTube video, you'll jump to another one. Then I get emails. Then I get Twitter stuff. Then I get my Facebook pages that people have been putting stuff on there. And then you click that on. I mean, it's like a ball of confusion, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Then I go on some other sites. Like I check my Bonanza site too, like that. I sort of be on eBay and stuff. And then I do my personal banking. And sometimes I got to check stuff on that. There's a whole bunch of things going there, and a lot of distraction. And if you follow these entrepreneurs, like I said, the ones I mentioned earlier, one thing about them was perseverance and determination. And you're going to have ups and downs in this business, folks. It's an up and down hill. You're not going to become rich overnight. You may not become rich at all. Some people may just do this here and make a decent living out of it. Some people may do it as a hobby. Some people do it to pay for help them pay for maybe a vacation or pay some bills, whatever. But here's the thing, folks. If you're going to use this business or use eBay to make money to pay your bills off, use the money to pay your bills off. I mean, pay them off. Don't use eBay to make money and buy other stuff. Use it with the cause, with the purpose. And if you're going to use it, if you're a full-time worker and use it as a hobby, take that additional money, pay down your bills, get rid of those credit cards. Okay? Don't jack up big bills. Don't make money with eBay and say, I'm gonna go, if you make a couple $100 off, I'm gonna go on a little mini vacation, or I'm gonna go out to a fancy restaurant to eat. Pay down your credit card debt if you have credit card debt. Pay it off. Get rid of the credit cards. The only way I'm able to do this because I don't have any credit card debt, thank God. Life is a little less stressful. If I had a lot of credit cards and I had bills going out, my whole paycheck is going out towards credit card and other debts and other bills, it would be a real nightmare. So if you're making money off of this, folks, if you're using eBay to make money, sacrifice. Don't take the money right away and say, well, I made $200 off eBay. I'm going to go out and blow it on something. I'm going to buy, I don't know, a cheap laptop or something. Take that money, pay down your debt. Use it for a reason. Use it for what it's worth. If you're going to make money, pay off your bills with it. Okay? Don't keep jacking bills up. Some people may say, well, for a person like a reseller that sells and they make money off it, they're going to take that money and they're going to reinvest it in more sourcing, and that's understandable. I'm talking about the casual seller that just does it as a hobby, just wings it. Put it on eBay. If I get whatever I get for it. It's pocket money, gas money, whatever. But whatever money you get off it, put it to the side, save it for any day. If you're like a person that doesn't have a lot of bills, put it on the side, save it for any day. But if you're a person that has a lot of debt or you got a lot of bills and stuff like that, use it to pay your bills down. Get rid of those bills. Okay? I'm not a financial consultant, but I mean I went through a situation like this in my own past. I was there. I had a lot of credit card debt back in the day. But at the same time I had a job. But what really hurt me is when I had the two layoffs. I had a layoff and a bankruptcy. And that's what hurt me back in the day. And believe me, the credit card debt was astronomical. And it took many years to get out of it. And I would hope and pray to God I never have to go through that again. So my suggestion to you folks, if you got a lot of credit card debt, a lot of bills. Get yourself a cheap debt consolidation loan. Cut up those credit cards, get rid of them. Don't worry about your FICO score. Oh, it'll ruin my FICO score if I get rid of it. Don't worry about it, because let me tell you something. I preach this to my kids. They're smart. They only have one credit card each with a small balance on it, with a small minimum, line of credit. And I tell them, whatever you do, don't go into any higher credit cards where they want to offer you $10,000, $12,000, $20,000. Stay away from them, because you know what? The temptation's there. And what happens is you go to a store and you're not saving up. So my parents grew me up, when you want something, you save it, you go and work for it, and you buy it. But you had to put money away to buy these things. And I was also brought up that if you don't have it, you learn to live without it. So for me, money was always an issue, even when I was a young kid. Okay? My parents used to always talk about that there, how to finance, put money away and stuff like that. But if you're a person that has that credit card and you say, I got a $10,000 credit line, American Express, they have it where unlimited, there's no limit on it. So could you imagine, keep spending, oh, go here, go there, go buy this, that. Next thing you know, that bill's going up like this, right? Now, the American Express, that's a revolving credit, so you don't have to pay. It's not like the gold, where if you spend $500, they want you to pay the $500 off. The ones I have are always revolving with no annual fee. So if you jack up a big bill and you start spending, that goes up, 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 and then they take that interest on there. Okay, I'm gonna share this one thing with you before I get off this video. I had a Goodyear card for auto repairs, and I'm frugal at one point, and this is why I am the way I am when I talk about things of that nature, because I've been through it. I went through it. I had a $500 credit on there, bill. I had my car done, had some new tires put on. Just when I had my older car, I had my tires put on, an oil change, whatever. Anyway, the bill, it jacked up to $500. I had a time of work and make a decent money, stuff like that. And I said, you know what? Let me just keep paying. Let me just pay the minimum on it. $500 I'm on you folks. $500. That's what was on the credit card. Now, some people say, wow, $500. He's complaining. Yeah. Well, to some people it's a lot of money. To me, it was a lot of money. To a rich person like Bill Gates, that's a drop in a bucket to him. Okay. To me, it's a lot. So anyway, when I got that bill, and I pay them. I used to give it, the minimum payment was $25. So I said, okay, let me give them $25. Well, in the bill, I said, it only went down a small margin. You know what happened, folks? 15%, $15 out of 25, $15 went towards the interest, and $10 went to the principal. Do you know, if I paid that card off, if I figured it out right, if I kept making the minimum payments, it would have taken me, for a $500 loan, a $500 credit bill, it would have taken me 5 years. 5 years, folks, to pay that off. And you know what the interest would have been on that? For a $500 loan? That $500, I didn't do all the math in that part, but if you figure it out back then, I'm just throwing this number out there. That $500 could turn into a $1,000 loan. Think about it, folks. Think about it. And here's the other thing. I love the woman, senator. Now she became a senator. She was a Harvard law professor. She taught law. A lot of people might not agree with me, might not like the person, whatever, but Elizabeth Warren. She's the senator from Massachusetts. But she was a Harvard law professor. She taught law and stuff like that, corporate law, whatever, And I believe it was because of her with the Dodd-Frank and stuff like that. If you notice, now take notice, when you get the people that do have credit cards, the people that have it, when you look, there's like a little prompt there, a little tagline, a little text box. And you know what I love about it? I think she had something to do with it. I can't swear to it, okay? So don't hold me to it. Say, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking. I remember I was watching her on a PBS show, and it was called Secret History of the Credit Cards and the Card Game. There's two of them. You could watch them on PBS. Look them up. You could watch them for yourself. She said, why can't the credit card companies put a little text box there saying, if you pay the minimum amount of payment, this much, it'll take you 20 years or 30 years. And you want to know what? You look at your credit card statements, they have that. If I'm not mistaken, it's on there. How long it's going to take to pay that off. And I think it also gives you the, if you pay minimum, how many thousands of dollars you're going to pay in interest. Now, a lot of people may say, I don't really need to know that. I don't really care about that. I'm going to go out and spend what I want to spend. I'm making a good salary. I don't care. Well, if you want to give the banks all your interest, you want to give them all that extra money, that's up to you. If you got the money to do it, God bless you. I don't. I'm glad that they put that there, because you know what? It gives people the idea of thinking, or a little novel concept saying, well, listen, if I take this much money and I buy this stereo that's $3,000 or this big screen TV for $5,000 and I make minimum payments, it's going to take me 15, 20 years. Now, if you're a person that's in your 60s and 70s, you're not going to want to have a credit card debt when you're 70, for the next 16 or 20 years. Let alone if we'll even live that long, right? We don't know today, right? So my thing is I'm not saying I'm not anti-credit cards. I'm not against that credit cards. Get yourself one credit card, right? Get yourself one credit card with a low minimum balance on it, a credit line. I'm serious, folks, because go look at the credit card debt. How much? It's in the trillions or billions or trillions of dollars, whatever it is. I know it's up there. It's ballooned big time. People are using their credit cards like crazy, using plastic. Boom, 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 boom. Nobody wants to work and sacrifice anymore. They want it. I want it, and I want it now. I'm not waiting another 5 years. I'm not going to wait. I want it now. Or you might hear people say, I could be dead in 5 years. I'm going to get that thing now. I'm going to get that car I want. I'm going to get that stereo. I'm going to get that TV. I'm going to get this. Hey, listen. You play the piper. You want to play, you're going to pay. It's as simple as all that. Like there's a part even in the Bible, not to bring up religion, but there's a part in the Bible that says the debtor becomes slave to the borrower, and the borrower becomes slave to the debtor. Okay? So keep that in your mind. The more you keep spending, you're going to carry that on for a long, long time, folks. So my suggestion to people who sell on eBay, or a casual seller, or just a hobby seller, pay off those credit card bills or whatever bills you have, loans. Take that money. I know you might say, yeah, but it's peanuts what I'm making. It doesn't matter. You could throw an extra $10 towards the principal or the interest, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You could throw that extra money. It's just when you have a mortgage. If you add an additional $100 to your monthly bills, to your mortgage payment, it'll drop it down. I've done it already. We did it, and you'll see it goes down. It's not going to happen overnight, but as time goes on, if you could give an extra $100, $200 added to it, it helps out. It brings it down, brings the principal down, I believe, or the interest. I think it's one of those. I forget. But I'm telling you guys, don't get yourself in credit card debt, a lot of credit card debt, or bills. I preach this to my children, and thank God they're listening. Okay, they got one card each, and I started them off with a secured MasterCard from my bank. I bank at the credit union, and the minimum is $250, and when you open up the account, that's your money you're using. Now, if you don't pay the whole thing off, you do get interest. The bank does charge you a little interest. It's a small, I forget the percentage on it, but it's a percentage they charge you. No way. So even though you put your own $250 in, it's a secured MasterCard. It's a good way to build credit up, by the way. My younger daughter, both of my daughters did it, and they were using it, paying it off, and then we're getting credit card as time went on, credit card offers, and that's when my youngest daughter just put in for it, and she got approved, lock, stock, and barrel. My older daughter got a little higher credit rate. Not she didn't go higher credit line, but a little higher than what she had. And she got it lock, stock, barrel because the secured MasterCard, they tell you, the banks tell you, well, at least the credit union did, so that's a good way to establish a good credit line. And people want to see a payment history too. So I encourage my daughters to use. I say, if you use it for gas, if you spend like, let's say for the month it costs you $100 for gas, and the bill comes in, which my daughters do, both of them, they pay the whole thing off. And they can afford it. It's a $250 credit line, but it's your money. But that's a good way to go. It's a good way to establish credit for people coming up with no credit line, no credit history. Get yourself a secured MasterCard. I'm telling you, it'll pay off. It'll help out in the long run. You can add to it though. If you say $250, that's a joke. No, you can. The guy told me when I opened myself. He said you can put whatever you want in there. It's your money. You want to put $30,000 credit line. You want to put a $5,000. Because if you have the money in your bank and you want to put it on your secure MasterCard, you can. There's no amount. The minimum. That's their minimum to open it is $250. They don't go any lower than that. They probably figure any lower than that, you might as well just pay it cash. Okay. But the thing is, That was a big help for my children, my daughters, to get established. See, my kids are younger. I wanted to get them involved in learning about financing, how to save their money, because they've seen dad go through it, and I don't want to see my kids go through it. Okay. Mine was an unfortunate thing. Like I said, a job loss and a layoff. What am I going to do? Things happen. We always think everything's going to be perfect, and we think like that, and eventually something happens. You go over the edge and forget about it. And once you're in a situation like that, you could call the credit card companies up and you can give them the story, tell them, can you reduce the payments, stuff like that. They may help you out somehow, but you're still going to pay that. They may reduce the interest rate too, but you're going to still be paying it. They're going to get that money back. They want it back. And if you don't, your credit history is tarnished. And people might say, so what? I got a low FICO score. Go apply for a mortgage. Go apply for a car loan. See what your interest rate is. If you're in the 600s as opposed to a person 750 and 780 and 760 and above, see who's going to get the better interest rate. If you think I'm on, do your own research. I went through this here. I went through this. Okay? And it's no joke, folks. It's a nightmare. It is. Calling up all the creditors and trying to work things out with them and see if they could work with me. And then you got to worry about them putting judgments against you, calling up. Then if you can't make the payments, it goes to collections. I've been through a lot of that stuff with credit cards. That's why one is enough for me. That's it. With a decent line of credit. And you want to know what? You know where that credit card stays? That one with the little high credit line? It stays in the file cabinet. That's where it stays. I don't carry it with me. And why? People say, well, what are you afraid to spend on it? Or you might get tempted to spend. No, I'm not tempted to spend on anything. You know why I leave it there? For strictly emergency purposes. That's how I look at it. I'm not interested in buying anything. If I buy stuff, I buy it a necessity. I didn't buy a brand new car. When I did buy a brand new car, I bought it because the other one died on me. I had an old car and it died, and I said, I'm tired of having I had old cars for the longest time. I bought myself one cheap little car, and it's paid off, thank God, and I got that. Okay, I bought that. Computers go blinky, buzzy, they break on me, whatever. I don't go out and buy a $15,000 to $16,000 or $1,600 computer. I buy a cheap $400 or $500 one. My laptop was $300, $299. I got it at Walmart. I got both computers. Well, I got one at Micro Center. But the first computer I got before it died was bought. They were both bought at Walmart. I buy a necessity. The printers I have, I got them at a thrift store. One was $15, the other one I think was $10. They work fine. They work fine. I buy a necessity. I'm a frugal seller, and I'm a frugal person and I'm a frugal buyer. Okay, I don't go out and spend a lot of money. I don't have on eBay. I don't have a store. I don't want an additional monthly bill. I don't need a store. If I'm selling eBay, I don't need a store. What I say, you're seeing the same things I have in a store. Why am I gonna give eBay on top of the money I pay them monthly, whatever, how it comes out, and which is a lot. To me, it's a lot. And then I'm going to pay for a store on top of it? No, that's not going to happen. I don't need a store. My storefront is right here, what you see here. That's my storefront. Okay, I know there's perks with it. You get so many free things. I don't care about those perks, because the way I look at it, it all works in eBay's favor. And if people want to do that, more power to you. I wish you all the best. I really do. From the bottom of my heart, I wish all you guys out there, sellers, buyers, top-rated sellers, not top-rated sellers, I wish you all the best. I really do. Anyway, I rambled on enough. I'm sorry it took a lot longer. I'm going into I'm curtailing into other things. I'm spinning off to other things. I'm sorry about that, folks. I just wanted to share that with you. But I'll talk to you guys soon in the next video. I wish you all the best in your selling. I hope this slow period for me will dissipate, and maybe I can start making money. It'd be nice, and we'll play it by ear. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys posted. I will talk to you soon in the next video. Bye now. Take care.